podcasting probably fucked it up for Joe because people fell in love with the Stooges. But I can understand why Joe is screaming at this nigga. If Joe probably has other things going on he's setting up, if this bozo possibly set a price, like, I ain't gonna lie, Joe would do it if we got this amount of money, people talk. This bum ain't qualified to talk about Joe Budden's business.
Oh,
right. I'm gonna go talk to the guys.
I go talk to the guy.
Right.
Never said anything. Never went that. Was met with just a flip out.
Right.
Couple weeks later, Joe takes us outside of the Total War studio. Yo, so I got this title deal and said the numbers, and then they were exact same numbers, the exact same thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm going to tell y'all this. There's a lot of people who are sympathetic to these two dweebs because of either, Joe's an asshole. He's an asshole. Joe's an asshole. Like, Joe could rub you the wrong way. You won't fuck him cool. But don't let it be lost upon you that if, say, for a I don't know, a panel, I would charge $15,000 to appear. I'm just throwing out numbers. Anybody who listens to this, yeah, you holla at me if you want a real price. Anyway, say that's what I charged for the last couple panels, right? Someone in my team knows this. Somebody asked them like, yo, shit, blah, 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 blah. Can I get Ak out here? Yo, if I got $15,000, would he take it? I'm sorry, it's not, you can't make that decision. Already, and we're 7 minutes into this video, Rory is exhibiting the notion that he thought he was even qualified to have those conversations. It don't matter, even if it ends up being what Joe brought back, Joe could bring it back. You can't have those conversations. This is why this whole podcast erupted and fell apart. Because Rory actually thought he was a boss. Fuck your contribution. You were seen and valued as nothing more than the fry cook at McDonald's. Nothing more, nothing less. But listen, he doesn't get it, so he's missing the bigger picture.
I think we had. Did we have an argument that day about that? Was that?
No, you guys say that was about the title deal, but I don't think that argument was about the title deal.
Okay.
I think it has something to do with Highline Ballroom or something. I didn't think the title. I don't think the title deal was ever an argument.
Show. It was a live show.
Because the title deal, you and I thought was cool. Like, because I think it was for 6 months. It wasn't like some crazy deal. It was like, yeah, all right, maybe we'll get some bread.
Yeah.
And then move the fuck on. Granted, was it a good decision to probably turn it down? Sure. Whatever. Right. No one's ever mad about it.
Right.
Type thing. So once those deals start coming in, I'm thinking, well, we should probably just start having contract conversations. Because when we were thinking about taking the title deal, Joe and I did sit down and talk about percentages off that monthly title number.
Right.
Which happened. I don't care what you think, what your narrative is. This all happened.
Mm-hmm.
We turned down the title deal. I think, well, we should just have that conversation anyways, because we're starting to get real offers, not just little ads here and there, like $1,500, $2,500.
Right.
Like, we're getting actual offers. Are they crazy offers? No, but they're offers. So we should just do this because we're all friends. Let's just get a binding contract between all of us.
Right.
Nothing crazy, nothing to a specific deal.
Right.
Nothing to a lump sum of money, just a percentage-based shit. Let's just do that.
Mm-hmm.
Call Joe, and I say that to him. This was one of the first conversations I'd ever really been offended to Joe, and I've expressed this to him. He flipped the fuck out, called me insecure for wanting to have a contract, and said, don't call me about this shit. I said, I'm insecure because I think we're all friends, and I want to have a contract since all these deals are coming in. So once the deals are finalized, the three of us don't have to say a fucking word to each other. We good.
Right.
We can continue on with this chemistry of this podcast.
Right.
But I'm insecure.
Mm-hmm.
I found that very odd. The same way he psychoanalyzes his friends, I thought that was the weirdest fucking thing on earth.
Right. You understand that now, simply, though. You understand what that energy was about now, though.
This was just the first one.
Okay, got you.
This was just the first one. Mm-hmm. Just said to myself, well, that's kind of weird. That's not insecurity. That's just how shit goes. I called before we had any deal to talk about ownership of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Joe said otherwise. We then all agreed we'll do profit partners.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. If you want to own the IP of this shit, it wasn't even an argument before my lawyer even got in on that shit. That was a simple Joe and I conversation.
Mm-hmm.
This your IP on your shit? Okay. But let's just be profit partners.
Right.
I'm not going to get paid off this podcast. Let's put some real sweat equity into the shit. If you want to own the shit, cool. And I won't take away from everything Joe did prior to start that podcast in the beginning. Won't take anything away from that. Never even came in on some, I need to own this shit. Did I bring it up first? Of course.
Right.
Who the fuck wouldn't?
Right.
It's a simple fucking thing. So then Spotify comes. Nick Rosenberg emails me, says, hey, I think Spotify is interested in doing some podcast stuff. I said, all right, bet. I'll put you on with Ian. At this point,
Yo, chat, this is a brief intermission, man. Roll up that Rory runs that Black and Malls. Make sure y'all got that shit lighting and going straight in the goddamn atmosphere. These niggas talking a bunch of bullshit, but we're going to break them down like a goddamn fraction. You're hearing entitlement itself speak. When I hear these niggas talk, they sound like bitches. You get them some dick, they think that they're valued to all type of shit that you own, okay? So I'm listening to this bum-ass nigga, but watch, we'll break him down.
Spotify comes. We actually have to get these contracts done because now real money is on the table.
Right.
Not what the title deal was, not what any other ad was, not what any other thing that I'm privy to. Let me make that clear. Shit that I'm privy to.
Right.
So I hit my lawyer and I say, hey, let's.
I'm glad he mentioned that. The mere fact chat, what we're going to constantly hear is that these bum-ass niggas, they're workers. As an owner, you're privy to everything. As an employee, you're privy to selective shit. As it should be. But let's keep hearing this goddamn albino bum.
Let's get a contract. I'm not the smartest person in the world, never will claim to be. I'm not a lawyer, anything like that. But when you go into a negotiation with another lawyer, you start at the top with everything, and then lawyers just start taking shit off of what's not going to happen.
Correct.
So, of course, a lawyer goes in and says, visuals. Visuals now are YouTube. Okay, let's negotiate. They say no. We get into the negotiation. Lawyer goes back and forth with his lawyer. Joe and I speak on the side, one quick conversation. I never brought up YouTube money again. Not one time. Never came out of my fucking mouth.
I think it's important to highlight that.
Never came out of my fucking mouth after a lawyer who did their fucking job and negotiated brought that shit up. I said, all right, bet. Okay, wait. So visuals are not off the table, just YouTube. I'm cool.
Right.
Never going to hear about YouTube from me again. Like, that's whatever. Visual does not just mean YouTube. YouTube's not the only place on earth that does visual shit.
But
I'm fine with that.
Let me stop you right there. The only reason why I had a problem with that was because the podcast, yes, was the Joe Budden channel active before the podcast? Yes. It was housing his music stuff, his videos, whatever. But we know what the subscription was before we started putting the podcast on there. As we started putting the podcast on, it became a weekly thing. The subscription started to grow.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the only reason why I had an issue with that, because okay, cool. Yeah, you started this channel, no problem. But I know how YouTube, you get paid each video off of each video. So
here's the thing. That conversation did happen between the lawyers. Because I know how the YouTube splits work and what that is. I'm familiar with it. Whatever side.
Rory, you've never had a YouTube. You've never done shit. You're not familiar with shit. You're not familiar with shit. This nigga's never even attempted to make a YouTube channel. It's kind of insulting for this bum ass nigga to be like, oh, I'm familiar. No, nigga, you probably read it on a website.
I see the bigger picture. I'm not flipping about this shit at all. This is 2021 shit.
Nobody's being greedy.
I'm saying back then, fuck, I never cared about the money on that shit, nor did I think YouTube.
Chad, let me tell you this, man. Once I posted the mansion, the Urus, and the R8, these niggas started going crazy, man. They started going crazy, nigga. They probably thought they were supposed to know, nigga. I don't know how Joe ended up splitting all his shit with y'all. I own all my shit, okay? Wait till you see what I get next.
I see the narrative is people think that we work for Joe and we're employees and we get a salary. That's not what it was. We have a percentage-based contract.
Let me run this back again, chat. This is the first lesson. Get your pens and pads out, chat. First lesson in Business 101. These two bozos, we killed them last week. This is the Walking Dead episode